All right. Okay. So when you lie down, if you want to place a blanket under your head, you can, or even underneath your knees. And feel free to either straighten your legs or just knock your knees together, whatever feels best for your back in this moment. Resting your hands on your belly. Just breathe into your lower abdomen. And allow your breath to expand up to the sky. And just notice as you breathe into the body, if you can relax your jaw, relax your tongue, soften your shoulders. And just notice how you feel. Just taking your time. If your legs were out long, start to step the feet to the floor and separate the knees and the feet. And you can open your arms out wide like a T and just windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Let your knees fall over towards the left, reaching your right knee down and forward. Maybe your head turns towards the right. And if you want to get a little deeper sensation of stretch, you can always place your left foot on top of your right thigh to weigh down the leg a little bit more, feeling that hip flexor. And slowly let it go. Switch the legs again from one side to the other. The next time your legs move towards the right, you can pause there. You can look towards the left hand. You can also place your right foot over your left thigh if you like. And as you gently release, bring both knees to the chest, give it a little hug, and rock a little side to side. Take your hands to the top of your knees and push your knees away from you. Open your knees out wide, bring them back to your chest and your belly, and just start to create these circles. And next time you bring your knees in, move them out, forward, and back to the center, just moving a few times in the opposite direction. And as you come back to the center, hug your right knee towards your chest and reach your left leg up to the ceiling. Point and flex your left foot a few times and rotate your left foot in one direction and then the other direction. And starting to reach your left leg down towards the floor, stretching it out as far as you can, hugging the right knee in a little closer. Rotate your right knee around your hip point in one direction, and then rotate your right knee in the opposite direction. Then taking your hands behind your thigh, interlace your fingers behind your right thigh and stretch your right leg up to the ceiling. See if you can flex both of your feet and press your right thigh away from you. Breathing into the ribs, into the belly, relaxing your shoulders. And start to bend your right knee and take your left hand to the outside of your right leg and start to move into a twist, reaching your right knee towards the left side and outstretch your right arm towards the right, opening up your chest. Then moving a little bit with our breath here. Reach your left arm out so your arms are like a T. Then take your right arm all the way to your left hand and feel like you're kind of curling up into like fetal position, basically. And open your arm back out, taking up space back into that twist. So coming back to the center, folding in, and opening back out. Last one, folding into the center, and opening back out. Then slowly bringing your right knee back towards your chest. Give it a hug. Bring your left knee towards the chest. Give both of them a hug. Rock a little side to side. One more time, circles with our knees. Hands to the shins, to the knees. Push the knees away, out to the side, and back to the center, just moving at your own pace. Next time your knees come to your chest, open the knees out wide, out to the back of the mat, and then towards the front of the mat. And as you come back to your center, hug just your left knee towards your chest, reach your right leg up to the sky. Point and flex your right foot a few times, and rotate your right foot in one direction, and then rotate your right foot in the opposite direction. Then taking your right leg long to the floor out in front of you, stretch out through the right leg as you pull the left knee closer towards your chest. Start to create some circles with that left knee, like you're moving your left knee around your hip point. Just move in the opposite direction. And as you come back to the center, take your hands behind your left thigh, interlace your fingers, and straighten your leg. So now that both legs are straight, flex both your heels. Try to press your left thigh away from you into your left hand. And try to think of the subtleties of drawing your inner thighs together. So your left waist gets long and your right hip moves up to maintain evenness in your sacrum. Then bending your left knee, take your right hand to the outside of your left thigh and drag your left leg over to the right side. Open your left arm out for a twist. Just opening up your heart. You can reach your right arm out like a T. Then moving with our breath, bring the left hand over towards the right side into fetal position. Then open your left arm back out to the side. Come forward into fetal position. And open your arm back out. One more time, reach your hands together. And open yourself back out. Pause for a moment and breathe. Then bring your left knee back to your chest, give it a hug. Bring your right knee back to your chest, give it a hug. Rock a little side to side. So we'll come into happy baby, into a little bit of a longer hold. So when you open your knees wide and reach for the feet or the outside of your thighs, or you can always, like use a strap to help hold your legs, see if you can find a position where you feel like you can hold it at least for the first 10 breaths. So you might not want to go to the place that feels like you can barely be there and you feel a lot of sensation, to the place where you feel something in between. You feel your hips a little bit, maybe your back. You can still breathe there. And try to focus on your breath, moving all the way to the bottom of your belly. Feel your ribs filling up. Feel your chest filling up. Just notice as you hold the shape, if you've adjusted a little bit, if you can bring the knees a little bit lower or wider, or the feet a little bit wider. I think the answer might be I'm completely fine where I'm at right now. Or you might notice that you have space. Notice where you can be for the next 5 more breaths. Be at whatever place you can handle. And gently draw your knees together. Rock a little side to side. Turn the head a little side to side. Stretch your arms over your head as you push your feet to the floor. Turn over to any side, right or left. And then use your hands to gently lift yourself up. Coming into a cross-legged position. Stretching your arms up to the sky. Take a twist to the right side of your space. Turning from the center of your belly. Reach your arms back up. And switch to your other side. Reach your arms back up. Take a side lean. Pick any side to start. Drop one hand down and stretch the other arm up, opening up your chest. And as you rise up, switch to the other side. Coming back up to center, relax your arms. Roll your shoulders around a few times in one direction. And then move in the opposite direction. Very good. Take a block, place it in your hands. And the goal of this next exercise is not necessarily do that much with the block, but use it as a level for your eyes to see how your arms are moving. So I think we've done this a while ago with mobility, but keep your hands in line with your shoulders. When we start to kind of move our shoulders up and down, forward and back, I want you to try your best not to move the block. Try to focus the isolated movement right at the shoulders. So when you look at your block and if you see it moving up and down a lot or forward and back, try to slow down the movement or make the circles a little smaller. So create some tension in the arms, squeeze the biceps a little bit, and start to lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Start to push your shoulder blades forward. Drop your shoulders down away from the ears and draw your shoulders into your back. So start to do this, I don't know, 3-4 times. Everyone's going to go at a different speed. And you can think of those 4 points, right? Up, forward, down, and back. But I do want you to try to think of it as moving in a circle rather than hitting corners of a box. Breathe a little bit through this movement. After you feel like you've done it 3, 4 times. Take a break, relax, shake it out. I don't know about you, but that's pretty hard for me. Switch the legs just so your other hip gets an opening. And here's the next thing to focus on when we go in the opposite direction, the reverse. I just want you to be mindful, right? Before we were thinking about like if the block goes up and down or forward and back, right? So that's one thing to focus on. The next thing I want you to focus on too is like your ribs kind of moving with your movement, right? We're trying to isolate as much as we can in the shoulders. So we'll do it like once together and then the 3 or 4 times on your own. So block in front of you. Focus on your ribs dropping down a little so you have like a straight back. And let's push the shoulder blades behind us. Drop the shoulders down. Push the shoulders in front of you and up towards your ears. So behind you, down, forward, and up. So try to do 3 to 4 more on your own. Right? This does take a lot of focus. Just keep breathing. And you don't want to go so slow that you just feel like you're hitting the corners of the box. Try to get a little bit into like a circular movement. And when you've had enough, let it go. Shake it out. Very good, guys. Let's do one more twist. Reach the arms up. Take a twist to the right. Turn your belly. Open your chest to the side. Reach your arms back up. And switch to your other side. Reach your arms up. Side lean over to one side. And side lean over to another side. Good. Let that go. Come forward to your hands and your knees. Use a blanket if you need for your knees. In tabletop position, move through some cat-cows. Hands under the shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Rounding the spine, pushing the floor away, dropping the belly, opening up the chest. And taking your hands a little forward over your shoulders and just start to make some circular movements with your hips. And just switch the direction. As you come back to the center, take your knees wider, press your seat towards your heels, and outstretch your arms. Turn your palms up towards the sky. Breathe into your belly and into your ribs. Relax your jaw. Relax your tongue. And walk your hands over to the left. And weave your right arm through your left side, threading the needle and walking the left fingertips towards the center of a mat. You feel like you're opening your chest towards the left side. Slowly unwind and walk the hands over to the right. Then reach your left arm through the right side and see if you can walk your right fingertips a little more to the center of your space. Just breathe into your belly, into your ribs. And as you walk back to your center, arrive up to your hands and knees, adjust your knees and your feet, and come up to downward dog. Pedaling out through your feet a little bit, bend each knee like you're walking in place. Move the head a little bit, yes, a little bit no. And when you're ready, breathe in, roll forward to plank position. Tap the knees to the floor, lower to the belly. Walk your hands a little bit wider off of your mat to the left and the right side and tent the fingertips. Breathe in, lift your chest up through the center. Exhale and let it go. Inhale, rise and look over your right shoulder. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise and look over your left shoulder. Exhale, release. One more time, breathe in through the middle. And exhale, let it go. Stretching our shoulders a bit here. Send your left arm out to the side and look towards the right side of your mat. Try to keep your left arm in line with your shoulder. If your head is not on the ground as you do this, I would put a blanket or a block under your head. Start to roll over to the left side of your body. And you can also bend your knees if you feel unable to balance or your back feels a little bit stiff. Bending the knees will give you a little more relief. If you straighten your legs, try to press out through your heels. Then you have a few choices. You might bend your right knee and put your right foot on the ground. It doesn't really matter where, whether it's in front of you or behind you. It just depends on how you feel in your balance. You might reach your right arm up to the sky and wrap your right hand behind your back. Just breathe into the space of your rib cage. Relax your shoulders. If you're clenching your teeth, relax the back of your jaw. If you had your hand behind you, start to lift it up to the sky. And then slowly bring your hand down to the ground and roll all the way back to your belly. Slide your left hand under. Well, let's create like a little pillow for the head for a moment. Just rest your forehead, relax your shoulders and your neck, and feel free to wiggle your seat a little side to side. Bend the knees and swish the legs a little. And as you slowly let go, reach your right arm out to the right side and bring your left hand to your shoulder. Look over to the left. And remember, rest your head on the floor, a blanket, or a block, and start to push yourself over to the right side of your body. So you have the choice of keeping your legs straight or bending your knees if that's better for your balance or your back. Opening up your chest to the side. You can bend your left knee and place your left foot on the ground if you like. You can also reach your left arm up to the sky And wrap your hand behind your back. Try to breathe into your belly and your ribs. Notice if you're gripping your fingers. Try to relax the palms and spread the fingers out. Relax your jaw and your tongue. If you had your hand behind you, start to lift it up. Bring your palm down, release your legs, and come back to the belly. Create a little pillow with your forearms and wiggle your seat a little side to side. You can even bend your knees and swish the legs a little bit here. Relaxing your legs, bring your hands by your chest. As you rise up, come back to child's pose. You can even bring your hands by your feet if you like, to really let your shoulders round for a moment. Breathe into your belly, into your ribs, into your back body. Slowly reach your arms out in front of you. Rise up to hands and knees and into down dog. Walk your feet forward to the top of your mat. As you arrive at the top, look up halfway, lift hands to shins. Exhale and fold. Sweep your arms up to the sky, breathing in, reaching for your right wrist. Lift up and over to your left. Come back to the center. Reach up and switch the sides over towards the right. Coming back to the center. Take the hands behind the back. Interlace our fingers, lift our chest. Fold down over the legs. Let your head release. Lift through the knuckles. If you tend to lock your elbows, bend the elbows ever so slightly so you feel the triceps engage a little more, and you can really lift those shoulders up a little higher. Bending your knees like you're sitting in a seat. Sweep your arms forward and up. Chair pose. Try to press the shins backwards. Push into the feet and rise up. Open the arms. Fold down to the ground. Step your right leg behind you to a lunge. Lower the knee to the floor. Shift your seat a little forward and back a few times at your own pace. Next time you shift your seat backwards, look at your toes and open the toes, wave the toes and the foot side to side so you feel that hamstring working a little bit. As you bend your front knee again, you can adjust your foot if it floated away. Plant your right palm down and reach your left arm up. Release your hand down. Lift up the back knee, lengthen both your legs. Use blocks if you need under your hands for more support and more height. Bow your head down. Bend your front knee. Heel your left arm forward and up to the sky. Take your left arm behind you, down to the ground, and start to straighten your front leg. Bend both your knees, drop your right knee down, back leg, and sweep your arms up to the sky. See if you can open your arms out wide, reach them down to the ground or the blocks, lift up the legs, straighten both your legs, and drop your head. Bend your left knee, cycle your left arm forward, up, back, and down. Lengthen both your legs. Bow your head down. Last time, drop your knee, sweep your arms up to the sky, lift the belly and the chest, float your arms out wide and down to the ground. Excellent. Lift up the leg, turn to the middle of your mat, and just bend each knee, rocking a little side to side. Walk your hands over towards the right leg. You can still keep them on the ground, but if you want to, you can hold your hands, at your ankle or your foot. And as you bend your right knee, kind of lean a little bit closer and see if you can drop your head, right? The kind of instinct is to try to lift your chest, but drop the head, drop the chest. And this is where you'll see in your own body what works for you, but you can try to straighten the right leg, keeping your hands on the ground or the leg, and then bend your left knee any amount. And you'll just start to feel yourself kind of being pulled away from that right leg. Good. Now bend the right knee and just bear with me because I know you won't be facing the front of the mat, but walk your hands to your right leg, point your right toes to the short edge of your mat, and come up for triangle pose by bringing your right hand to your shin, straightening both your legs, and lifting your left arm up to the sky. Okay, keep those feet strong. Push into the feet, lift up through the thighs. Now rise all the way up. Point the toes to the middle of your mat and switch to warrior two towards the front of the mat, towards me, bending your left knee, pointing your left toes forward, opening up your chest. Flip your left palm up, lean back, peaceful warrior. Straighten your legs, reach your left arm forward. Take your hand down to your shin and your right arm up to the sky for triangle pose on this side, opening up your heart. Reach your right arm over your head, get nice and long. Drop your hands down to the floor, step back behind you, downward dog. So you can move through plank and chaturanga or up dog or baby cobra, or you can skip the flow. Excellent. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Walk forward to the top of your mat. When you arrive at the top, look up halfway. Exhale and fold. Sweep your arms up to the sky, breathing in. Reach for your left hand and reach over towards the opposite side. Rise back up, switch your arms, and lean. Take the hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, lift your chest. Fold yourself down. Stretch the knuckles up to the sky, and just remember, if you tend to lock your joints, we want to micro bend the elbows to draw the triceps towards each other and lift the shoulders away. Then we bend both our knees, take the arms forward and up, chair pose. Pull the weight back into the heels. Spread the toes. Engage your thighs. Even lift through that lower ribs, lower belly area. Rise to stand. Beautiful. Breathe in. And open wide and release down. Step your left leg back. Drop your left knee to the floor. Shift the seat back and forth, switching between bending the front knee and straightening. Next time you straighten the leg, pause and see if you can wave your foot, your toes, a little side to side. Coming back to the center, bending into your front knee, plant your left palm down and reach your right arm up for the twist. Try to also turn your torso, lean your head back a little. Drop your hand down, lift up your back knee, lengthen your legs, bow your head down. Bending your front knee, reach your right arm forward, up to the sky, back behind you, down to the ground, and lengthen both your legs, bowing your head down. This time, dropping your left knee down, take your arms up to the sky. Lift your belly as you open your arms wide, reach them down, and let your torso come down. Lift up your back knee, lengthen both your legs, bow your head. One more time, bend your right knee, stretch your arm forward, up to the sky, behind you, down to the ground, straighten both your legs at the same time. And as you bend your knee, you drop the left knee down. Last time, lift your arms, your belly, your chest. Open your arms wide. Take the hands down. Lift up your back leg. This time, turn to the left side, middle of your mat. Bending each knee, rocking a little side to side. And as we bend our left knee, we walk the hands to the left side of the mat. So you can touch the ground, you can touch a block, you can literally hold your leg. Drop your head and your torso. And any amount that you can, straighten your left leg. Maybe you bend your right knee, right? None of this is mandatory. Just find your edge. Focus more on letting your head relax, your torso relax, and let your legs do the work. Now bend into your left knee and straighten your right leg. Start to turn your torso to the back of your mat. So your left toes are pointing to the short edge. You might need to hop your right foot in if you feel a little long here. And as you straighten your left leg, place your left hand on your shin and peel your right arm up to the sky. So we got to get a little stronger in the thighs and steadier to keep the balance, open the chest for your triangle pose. Push into the feet and rise up. Turn to the middle of your mat. Point your right toes to the front now and bend your right knee, warrior two. Opening up your chest. Flip your right palm up, lean back, peaceful warrior. Straighten your right leg. Reach your right arm forward. Take your hand down to your shin and your left arm up to the sky. Triangle pose. Send that left arm over the head. Look down, release your hands, bend the knee, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe in forward to plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest and your heart. Come back, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Reach your right leg up to the sky. Bend your right knee and stack your right hip over your left. Take that foot forward between your hands. Lower your back knee down. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Take your right hand to your hip. And as you turn to the left, you can turn to the right. You can either bring your left hand to your knee, or you can lean forward and bring your elbow to your knee. If you bring the elbow to the knee, maybe your hands come together to prayer, pressing the palms into one another to help you turn your chest, your heart, squeezing your outer hips together. Use your breath to release your hands to the floor. Lifting up your back leg, you can grab your blocks, place them under your hands, and step your left foot to the floor so you can keep the heel down and start to straighten both your legs. Climbing up to whatever height helps you reach your chest forward. Pull your right hip back and your left hip forward for your pyramid pose. Walk your hands out in front of you. Maybe the head releases as you keep pressing your thighs back. Try to lift the chest up, reach the arms up to the sky, and bend your front knee, lifting the front of your chest in your Virabhadrasana 1. Take your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, draw the knuckles down as you lift your chest, lean your heart forward for devotional warrior. Maybe you can let your head go a little bit more here. Push into the feet, rise all the way up, lift your arms back up for Virabhadrasana 1. Take the hands down, lower the left knee to the floor, heel toe your right foot wider so your arms can come inside your legs. Roll to the outer edge of your right foot and bring it back to the center. Roll to the outer edge and bring it back. Now lowering down to maybe your elbows or your forearms. You can put blocks under your hands. And you can choose to roll to the outer edge of your foot. We're not going to hold this quite as long as a yin shape, but think about like 10 breaths, a little longer than we would for an active version of this pose, but not as long as, 3 or 4 minutes. Just try to relax the shoulders, reach your chest forward, soften your seat. Relax the jaw, the tongue. Start to walk up slowly towards your hands. And just take your time to, you can just step your foot back, but I like to wiggle it back. And once I'm there, hands on the floor, and just kind of wiggle the seat side to side. Even bring your knees together so you can get a little more action in the hips and the waist moving. And as you come back to the center, tuck your toes and lift your knees up to down dog. Stretch your left leg up to the sky. Bend your left knee and stack your left hip over your right. Step your foot forward between your hands. Drop your back knee down and take your arms up to the sky. Bring your left hand to your hip. And as you twist to the left, you might bring your right hand to your knee or your elbow to your thigh. Hands might come together to prayer. Turning your chest, opening the belly. Drawing the shoulders back. Breathing as you bring your hands to the ground. Good. Then lifting up your back knee, step your right foot to the floor and grab your blocks. Go to whatever height helps you reach your chest forward. And if you ever feel like you're kind of falling over or it's hard to bring your right hip forward, step a little wider, right? Now try to press your seat back, your thighs back, and your chest forward. Walk your blocks away from you as far as they can go and see if there, maybe you can soften the head and the torso towards that front knee. And try to find a middle ground with pressing your feet to the floor, pressing your thighs back, or just softening ever so slightly. Then lifting up your belly and your chest, reach your arms up and bend your left knee. So you're still facing the front in your warrior 1. Your hips are facing forward and your shoulders are facing forward. Take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, lift the chest up, and fold your torso forward. Stretch your knuckles up to the sky. Let your head go. Push into your back foot. Rise up, free the arms, warrior one. Hands come down to the ground. Lowering your back knee. Moving your left foot wider so your arms fit inside your legs. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot. Bring it back to the center. Outer edge. Back to the center. Outer edge. Back to the center. Lowering down to your elbows, your blocks, your forearms. Try to keep your elbows slightly forward over your shoulders so you can relax the shoulders back. You can roll to the outer edge of your left foot if you like. Just breathing for about 10 breaths. And the idea is not to make you count, but just to stay present. Relaxing the lower body, relaxing your shoulders. You can actively press the forearms into the blocks to try to distribute the weight away from the shoulders. And just take your time, walk up to your hands, start to wiggle your left leg all the way back to meet your right leg. Remove the blocks, bring the knees together, and move the seat a little side to side. Very good. Come into downward dog and move through your flow if you like, or skip it. Very good. So let's bring the knees down to the ground and grab our blankets. So we're going to take our blanket, and the way it would come off of a nice wide stack, start to roll it up. And the roll should be like longer than fatter, if that makes sense. And if at any point with props, like something doesn't feel good, you take it out, you can still do this without the props. But you'll put the roll on the floor in front of you, kind of like a third away from the top of the mat. We're going to come into Sphinx pose with the roll like supporting the bridge of your ribs. So you can even take your hands right now and like trace the rib cage. So you feel like the bottom ribs, the middle ribs, and the upper ribs. So you're kind of like placing it at that place right under the heart rather than at your lower rib cage. Your hips are still going to be on the mat and not on the blanket, if that helps. So as you come down towards the ground, you'll adjust your body so you feel your hips on the mat and the upper rib cage on the blanket. Now, if you ever do feel like this is too high for your chest, like for your back, you can unroll the blanket more. You can also just take the blanket away because you can still do the shape without the support. The blanket, I think, actually brings us like a little deeper, even if it feels like a prop that's supporting you. Now you can keep your elbows a little bit forward of your shoulders and keep them, nice and wide so you don't feel like you're squeezing your elbows in, and spread the fingers. Separate the feet a little wider than your hips and just try to relax your shoulders down your back. The position of your head is really up to you. I generally maintain my head just level with my heart. It might feel good to let your head go and get a little stretch in the neck, but just see how you feel. And just really focus on the edges of your body that are pressing into the ground or making contact with the floor. the elbows, the forearms, tops of your feet, your thighs, your hips. And without placing too much activity, right? But just a little bit. Imagine your tailbone reaching back towards your heels and your heart, your sternum reaching away from your belly. Imagine your shoulder blades spreading out. This is a common thing that happens when we relax the shoulder blades down. Sometimes we draw the center of the shoulder blades together, but can you actually think of spreading the shoulder blades apart as you release them down? You might actually feel your heart lifting a little bit more. And as we focus on the yin quality in the shape, I still want you to feel as much stillness and letting go more than you're focusing on activating through the body. And this is your choice. You can stay here for the last 5 to 10 breaths, or you can walk your hands a little wider, lift your elbows up, and probably walk your palms a little forward so you have more, a little bit closer to you so you have more traction into seal pose. As long as there's no pain in the back, you can explore straightening your arms, lifting your belly. You might even come off of that blanket. Maybe breathe a little bit deeper. And then we slowly release the elbows down and we slide the blanket away and create that little pillow forehead resting position. Wiggle the seat a little side to side and bend the knees and switch the legs a little side to side. Then stretch your right knee out, like as if you're doing tree pose, but don't work very hard at it. Just relax the leg and look to the right side, resting your left cheek on your arms. Slide your leg back behind you and reach your left knee out to the side and look to the left side. Slide your leg back behind you. Come into child's pose. You can bring your hands all the way by your feet, relaxing your whole upper body. And peel your torso off of your thighs. Stretch your legs out in front of you. And coming into one forward fold, you choose straight legs, Paschimottanasana, or bent knees, Baddha Konasana. So whatever you're kind of craving or whatever is least painful. Reach your chest, reach your heart, and reach yourself forward. Slowly rise up, bring your knees in, walk yourself in a little bit. Take any props that you need for rest, right? Something for the head or the thighs or both. And as you come down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, rock a little side to side. taking happy baby or circling your legs, whatever you prefer. And bringing ourselves to rest in the most comfortable shape that we can. Shift the body around to feel the floor underneath you. Rest your hands where you feel most comfortable, most relaxed. And just start to notice your breath. Focus on your inhale and your exhale. Just feel the breath moving through your body. Begin to deepen your breath. Make some movements in your fingers and your toes. Rock your head a little side to side. Stretch your arms over your head. Take a deep breath in and a nice sigh out. Bend your knees. Roll over to any comfortable side. And just use your hands to gently rise up into a seat. Your hands to your heart center. Take a deep breath in and a nice sigh out. And let's join each other for one Om. Breathing in. Om. The light within me bows to the same light within each of you. Namaste.